there's a chance that we might have had a mini tilt session with a couple of the accounts today. Hey guys, it's Black Coffee Trader coming at you here on a Thursday, April the 3rd. And man, we had a choppy, nasty market today. Actually not that dissatisfied with today. I did have a red day, down 470 across the accounts I traded. I actually didn't trade all my funded accounts today, which I'm kind of proud of. Sticking to my game plan of working on a group of accounts until I'm happy with them and then moving on to another group. And then unfortunately, this second group was my Tradeify accounts. And had we not had a bit of a mini tilt session right here at the end of the day in this stupid area, we would be in a lot better shape. In fact, we'd be green on the day. But yeah, as it is, I'm a little bit sad because I had this top account at 1,300 and something in profit about a week and a half ago or something like that, and now we're about $100 away from blowing the account, which is not cool at all. So that is that. I think let's dive into, we'll do the negative first. We'll do the negative stuff first, and then we'll dive into the positive. So the negative really was, honestly, it was this area right here, like I talked about. I got faked in a sense. So we had this, let me just zoom in here so we can see it a little bit better. Here in the afternoon, I was just kind of half-heartedly watching the charts. This little blue line is the overnight low. And this really seemed to be quite respected today on NQ. We did not want to fall below that. So market opened like right here, and we kind of worked our way down. We did fall through it. Once we reclaimed it, we really tried to hold it until we fell through right here. And then I was kind of looking for maybe a break and retest to short it. And so we had this little 60 point, I think about 60 point blip candle from about the 18,820s to the 18,760s. So actually, yeah, about 60 point candle. So we had this massive boom, candle push up and then a wick back down, and then a red candle followed. And this was stupid, and this was really what set it off. But I entered the short, boom, got stopped out. We wicked, I entered again, got stopped out, and yep, I got a little bit tilted. I was like, I'm going to show this market, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. I then decided to take a long after we were kind of holding this, and that didn't work out. And in the meantime, between these two on ES, we were actually holding this even more clearly than we were on NQ, and this was really kind of the final straw. So the other two, if you look at NQ, the NQ short would have been here and here that I got stopped out. And then when we rejected this level on ES, I went short after the second red candle here. And look at this. This thing stops me out right there at the top of that wick. And then we roll over and we completely fall apart. So very, very, very upsetting, very frustrating that happened. Obviously just simply didn't have enough bandwidth on my stop. And to be honest with you, I was looking for this to set up, and this was the setup. Maybe if I wouldn't have had these other two trades here on NQ, I may have done a better job of creating more of a stop loss here. Really, the stop should have been above this wick right here. And had I done that, I would have escaped with a really nice trade, and I probably would have turned these accounts green instead of the bloodbath that they resulted in. So that was a little bit frustrating. Also on the Dow, right here, I was also trading these accounts, and this was earlier in the day. But look at this. So on the Dow, we moved up. This is the overnight low, and then we have this 214 level. We have VWAP, we reject, we fall down below this, and we retest this 214 area. So here's what I had going on in my head. We've rejected, we've fallen below VWAP, we're falling below this 214 level. We've kind of rejected it. I'm going to take this short. So I took a short, and this thing stops me out, like literally to the tick, and completely reverses, comes back down here, and then we kind of retest this overnight low. So I thought, all right, well, we're going to fall apart. So I take a short. Just this is not smart. It isn't smart. But we rip back up, takes me out. And up here at the high, this red candle here wicks and retest this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we're actually going to go long now. I go long and it takes me out again. So I couldn't win for losing with these accounts in the afternoon. And that was I just didn't trade very well. I took some bad setups, and this was not very good. And I'm kind of okay with this. I mean, I'm not okay with it necessarily, but I get it. I got fooled and I got sucked into the little nanosecond information instead of the big picture, and that's on me, and it's something I need to work on. But really the undoing was this on NQ. So that was the negative. That was the bummer on those accounts. Now let's go to the positive. So the positive really was these, I actually have to go to oil, was these Apex accounts. The Apex accounts up 170 on all three of those. I was very happy with that. Those are actually three of my better accounts. I just decided to work on my best accounts this morning and see what I can do then. And I was going to end up on my couple lower accounts. I'm not quite sure why I didn't grab this 84 account. That one's actually got about 1,000 and drawdown left. But anyway, we grabbed those, and on oil, look at this massive sell-off we had in the overnight. And pre-market, I took this thing short because I was looking at this going, we've not touched the 21 EMA. We've touched it, but we've fallen apart every time. And we had this little consolidation, this move down, and I went short. And my thought was, I'm going to scale into this, because I was kind of expecting that it might not continue to fall. It might pull back into this range, and if we don't break out above the EMA, I'm going to add to the position, which is what I did. We tested the EMA, we fell apart, we pushed back up, and then I added, we tested it again, and then we ultimately fell apart. And that ended up being a decent little trade. It could have been a lot better had I again kind of trailed my stop, and it took me out there. Then we kind of chopped around, and this thing continued for a little bit. I took another entry here on this retest of this overnight low. Got my first contract hit, and I added to the position, and then I ultimately got stopped out. It was a small loss, nothing too bad, but decent little trade on oil. And then on gold, we had I missed a really nice opportunity on gold. As we pushed out this morning, I was really kind of, to me it felt like we had tested VWAP here, and we were going to push higher. This was a pretty strong move. I took the long and kept my stop pretty tight. Had a small little loss there, nothing too major. We push it out, and then as we rejected yesterday's lows, this dark blue line is yesterday's lows. As we rejected that twice, I took it short. First contract hit, second contract got stopped out. No big deal, small loss there. I just kind of waited, and notice we rejected here, and once we rejected this level 31.57, and then we also rejected the overnight low, or yesterday's main session low. I took this short again, and I exited way too early. This could have been a very, very, very good trade. I was out there. I think this little move was 120 some bucks, and it could have been more like 200 maybe. And then I actually took another little long trade right here, and this ended up just going sideways the rest of the day, and I just took my profits and ran. I was glad I did that. So that was a little bit of trading. I don't trade gold very much at all, but I do watch it. I basically watch oil, gold, ES, and the NASDAQ, and also the Dow, I guess. So there's 5 different things that I'm kind of watching, and I don't nearly trade all of them each and every day. Today I just happen to trade each one of them for different levels hitting and so on and so forth. So but anyway, happy with the way those accounts are. Let's take a quick look at TradeZella. Where's TradeZella at? Here we go. So today net is 473. So we had a small red day. I can handle that. I'm just frustrated with my performance on those Tradeify accounts. But if you look at just the Apex accounts, actually pretty good. 519 across those three, 57% win rate. Like the stats there. So anyway, that is the long and the short of it. So big picture, looking at this major sell-off from the Trump tariff news last night after the market closed. What about 1,200 point drop I think we had yesterday, and then today we just kind of continue to fall apart. And to really look at the big picture, you almost have to go to the daily. This is the daily chart, and I know some of this is a little bit muddy because of all my levels. It's a little bit hard to see everything, but this right here is the 2023 highs. July of 2023, these were the highs. This, where we're at right now, we are right in this 2021 high. December of 2021, this was the 2021 market highs. This is 2025, friends, and we are now testing that area. And I don't know, I mean, right now it's anybody's guess, but the way this thing is going, I just wouldn't be surprised. We just continue to fall, and we are just in a bloodbath on this market right now. So if it wants to hold, you would think this would be a good area to do so, but we've been thinking that for I don't know, couple thousand points almost, it seems like. So anyway, I'm kind of curious to see what this thing does. I'm not making any big predictions at all. I mean, we have some levels here that have held up, going back to April of 24. Here we have August of 24. These lows down here were in August of 24. I think this is kind of the major area. If we break this, I mean, who knows? It's anybody's guess how far this thing could fall. But the other thing too is, maybe with some of this tariff stuff, if some of the other countries come to the table and negotiate, maybe this market gets some confidence back, and we do find the lows here and we start to push this thing back up. So we shall see. Nevertheless, we'll be on the ride, and we'll be able to tell more about what happened somewhere around the latter part of this year, I would guess. So anyway, that's that. What a day. From yesterday afternoon until today, this thing has just been on a bloodbath. So we'll see what tomorrow holds. But anyway, just want to thank you guys for following along. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for supporting my channel using code BCT on Apex and Take Profit Trader, TradeZilla. And just thanks for hanging out. Thanks for following along. New subscribers, welcome. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And if you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe and stay updated as I take you on my trading journey. So right now the journey is not so fun, but that's part of it. Been doing this long enough to know that there's these cycles that we don't trade as well, and we have to work our way through it and try to learn some things, and that's the journey we're on. So all right, I'll leave you with that, and until next time, take care and so long.